one of the factors which led to the war was that they gave the Ehuns the power to reproduce on their own. In the Bible, the act of sexual reproduction is spoken of in this manner, and he knew his wife. For a man to have knowledge of his wife is to reproduce with her. Now consider very carefully the following verse from Genesis 2:16. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat. 17. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die. The real meaning of this is quite simple. Man was to be created, but the power of knowledge, or quote-unquote reproduction, he was not to have. Now, let's look at an infamous passage from this chapter. It has been one of the most misunderstood verses in all the Bible and was used as the basis for later abuse to have this world's population, its women. The time has come to clear this matter up once and for all. We are about to unlock the mysteries of, quote-unquote, original sin and, quote, the fall of mankind, unquote. After we are done, this particular sword will be wielded no further. Here are the verses. Genesis 3:1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest you die. And the serpent said unto the woman, You shall not surely die, for God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God amongst the trees of the garden. And the Lord God called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, Who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree, whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said, The woman whom thou givest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And the Lord God said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. And the Lord God said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. And unto Adam he said, Because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, Thou shalt not eat of it, cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground, for out of it wast thou taken. For dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou be returned. And Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living. Unto Adam also and to his wife did the Lord make coats of skins, and clothed them. And the Lord God said, Behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand, and take also of the tree of life, and eat, and live forever. Therefore the Lord God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden, to till the ground from whence he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims, and a flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. There it is, the serpent, the apple, the woman, the fall. Warning, the following contains knowledge not revealed to man until this time. Once it is read and fully understood, it cannot be unlearned. Above this line lies the cushion of ignorance. Below is knowledge concerning the origins of your race, and knowledge that could have a catastrophic effect on your belief system. If you are content to live life with your present knowledge base, then read no more. To those who choose to go forward, welcome to the end of childhood. When you were young, you probably believed in Santa Claus or St. Nicholas. Then one day you found out the horrible truth. It was a lie. You felt betrayed and saddened. After all, you were only a child, but after the initial hurt had worn off, you began to feel different. You sensed that you had crossed some type of threshold, that you were now a big kid. You watched as other little kids continued to believe in Santa. You took pride in your newfound knowledge, even helping the other adults to continue the myth. Much later, you may have come to realize something even more adult in nature. The knowledge that the spirit of Santa does exist in every parent, and as long as there are parents who love their children, he will never die. Santa turned out to be real after all, but in a different and much grander way. In the above verse, the serpent is assumed to represent the devil. The symbol of the serpent can be found throughout the world, and it is usually associated with fertility and the gods. The above verses contain symbology that, until now, has never been fully understood. This did not, however, stop certain men from using it to form a theology that would control the lives of millions. The basic premise is this: the devil, disguised as a snake, tricks the first woman into eating the apple of knowledge. She, in turn, gives it to the man. When God shows up, the man, being the courageous and manly type he is, blames it all squarely on the woman. God, being the manly kind of God, understood instantly. 'Twas the evil witch. It was I. She's the root of all evil, that's for sure, God says. Thus, the fall of man occurs. The woman takes the fall, and from then on will be